every brand, not just L'Oreal brand, but the future of brands is, of course, sustainability is not going to be on the side. Sustainability is going to be central to everything companies and brands will do.
In 2012, you created the Sharing Beauty with All commitment. What was the purpose of this strategy?
So Sharing Beauty with All was the first generation of L'Oréal's sustainability commitment. So the CEO of that time, at that time, was Jean-Paul Agon, and he really, the ambition for us was to have a transformative strategy for the company. So he was aware, he always said, the two major challenges in the century are going to be digital and sustainability. And so already in 2012, and there we were ahead of the time, we decided to build a strategy of ecological transition that is really tackling our whole value chain. So already at that time, we didn't look at the easy picks, or we do that and we will look at that later. No, we looked at the impacts all along our value chain, and we worked on each impact to reduce the environmental footprint and improve the social footprint. So that was really the first generation. And actually our achievements and the maturity that we gained through this first generation allowed us to be, for the second wave now of commitments for that we call L'Oréal for the Future, to be very, very ambitious and very mature, I think, in our sustainability policies.
To date, what has the Sharing Beauty with All commitment achieved?
So Sharing Beauty with All finished in 2020. We achieved most of our targets. We outperformed on some of them, like our carbon footprint. So we reduced the carbon footprint of our industrial activity by 80% since 2005. So that was really a huge achievement. And some other goals were more difficult. And, you know, environmental science is also something moving. So sometimes we also discovered that that was not the right way to tackle it, and that we will have to reformulate and redefine our targets. So, but as a whole program, it was very, very successful. And so in 2020, we announced the next generation of sustainability targets, our L'Oréal for the Future strategy. The interesting thing of L'Oréal for the Future is that we didn't work anymore on the basis of what is our impact and by how much can we reduce it. We looked at it in a different way. We looked at it, what does the world need from us? So we took as a scientific basis, the planetary boundaries, and we looked, what do we have to do so that L'Oréal in 2030 will operate within the planetary boundaries, meaning that we do not take more from this planet than the planet can take. And so our whole program was created on this scientific basis, and that leads to very, very ambitious targets, of course, because it means 100% recycled plastic, 95% of our ingredients bio-based or from biotech, and so on. And so there is a whole transformation ongoing. And I think what allowed us to be now so ambitious is that we started early, that we saw that a lot of things are possible with the right mindset, that people are very mature on sustainability issues and very aware. So the whole company, there is a lot of awareness. So that allows us to be at a level with a lot of ambition, but also a lot of difficulties, of course.
What does your role as the CEO of the Fondation L'Oréal entail?
So I have two roles at L'Oréal. So one is to lead the transition to a new business model with all my colleagues and internal partners, which is this internal transformation. But I'm also in charge of the outside contribution to society. Historically, the Anglo-Saxon world, especially the US, was much more engaged in philanthropy with higher amounts of money. less working on the internal transformation, and the Europeans were a little bit the other way around. We do everything internally, but it is the welfare state who takes care of difficulties society faces. So nowadays, I think we need two approaches. We need, of course, we cannot continue to do business as usual. So we need this internal transformation, but we also, by our capacity, means, and the availability of resources, also financial resources, we also have to contribute to solve some of the most pressing challenges the world is facing. So in my role as leading also the entire philanthropic and commitment to society, I lead the foundation's work. We also have a charitable endowment fund for women where we support grassroots and community organizations all around the world who support women. But there is also each and every brand at L'Oréal who has a commitment to contribute to society. And I try to give the best strategic orientations to these causes.
What sustainable changes can we expect from brands like L'Oréal in the future?
So I think every brand, not just L'Oréal brand, but the future of brands is, of course, sustainability is not going to be on the side. Sustainability is going to be central to everything companies and brands will do. So what the step we have to take now is we have to bring the right innovations to the market. That means refill, recharge. For a cosmetic company, it's no rinse conditioners, it's solid shampoos, it's a lot of different things. So we have to bring this innovation. We have to raise awareness why these innovations are good for sustainability. And then as a last step, we need definitely to do choice editing altogether. So at one point, we will have to stop to bring to the market products that are not having an improved environmental footprint. And that choice editing, so that there is just the available more sustainable products, more sustainable offers, is really the next level of maturity that companies will have to reach in the next years if we choose to survive as a human species.
How can businesses communicate their sustainability standards across their entire supply chain?
Yeah, so it is very clear that companies have a role to play. As companies, of course, we all have a responsibility, but we have also to understand that the scope of responsibility is getting very broad, and it is getting broad because we have a lot of influence, and we asked for that influence. We asked for this capacity to act. So now we have to take on also the part of responsibility, and that means supporting our suppliers with, of course, constraints, but also support, helping them to improve their environmental footprint. At L'Oréal, our suppliers know that they will have to have a carbon reduction at a certain speed in order to continue to work with us. You have that with in the whole value chain. But we also have to work with our consumers. We have to work for companies, depends on how their value chain looks like. But we are responsible not just for ourselves, but also for our system of partners, consumers, suppliers. And we have a role as companies to play there.